Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our program, Fibroid Cancers and Tumors. It's nice having you back here this week. You're welcome. I still remain your humble host, Dr. Ijoma Mwoma, Ijewa Fertility and Womb Massage. We're going to have a recap of what we did last week. We dealt extensively on fibroid last week, where we said fibroid is a non-cancerous growth that is capable of growing in women of childbearing age. We talked about the different types of fibroid where we have the intramural, the submucosal, subserosal, and pedunculated fibroid. We still went further to talk about the different symptoms one experience when having fibroid, like heavy bleeding, loss of iron, that's iron deficiency, or what that can lead to anemia. We have bloating, the person feeling bloated and filled up all the time, chest burn, and frequent urination, and the rest of them. These were the things we took our time last week to treat. So if you did not see that show, I would advise you to go to any of our social media handles to catch up on all what we did last week. So this week, today, we'll be dealing on tumors and cancers. Tumors and cancers will be defining cancer and tumor. We'll be explaining the difference between tumors and cancers. We'll be talking about the different types of tumors and cancers, and we'll be looking at the different symptoms one will experience and will decide to go for medical checkup. Then finally, we'll be looking at diagnosis. How do you know you have cancer? What tests are you supposed to do to really certify that the tumor or whatever you're going through is cancerous or not? These are all the things we'll be dealing on today's show. So sit back, enjoy while we carry you on this ride. So, like I said earlier, that today we'll be dealing on tumors and cancers. What are tumors? What are cancers? Tumors are different lumps or growths that can be seen in different tissues or cells of the body. And the way these tumors behave or the way this lump behaves will determine whether it's cancerous or not. So, what are the different types of tumor we have? We have the one we call malignant. Malignant are the cancerous tumors. We have the one we call pre-malignant. Pre-malignant are tumors that are not yet cancerous and may be cancerous later in the future. Then we have the one we call benign. Benign are the non-cancerous tumors. I will go back to the pre-malignant because you hear some cases at the initial stage, they will tell this person this is just a tumor, it's not cancerous. And sometimes we see that in fibroid patients. They will just tell them this is just a fibroid tumor, it's not cancerous. And later in the future or years later, they will not still tell you that that tumor they told you is not cancerous, is not cancerous, it's spreading and it's destroying cells surrounding. Or you in some men that have prostate at the initial stage, they'll tell them no, this tumor is not cancerous. But much later in life, after further tests, or when the person was start feeling different symptoms, you go back to test. That same tumor they told you wasn't cancerous, you now see that it's not cancerous. That's what we call that something is pre-malignant. They have not decided if it is cancerous or not. Further tests should be able to tell you if this is going to be cancerous or not. Then the malignant is the tumor that are usually cancerous. It's spreading, and as it's spreading, it's destroying other tissues or cells surrounding it. For example, for breast cancer, before you know it's spreading to the breast, before you know it crosses over to the other breast, it's just spreading. And sometimes malignant cancer malignant tumors can break away from its original source. For example, you see it breaking away from here, it travels to another part of the body to go and form a new fresh tumor entirely. a new fresh tumor entirely. So in the case of leukemia, you see it from one side, before you know it spreads over to every part of the bone marrow, and before you know they say this person needs a transplant or change of bone marrow. So may God keep protecting his people that the things bigger than us do not find us. Then some tumors, you see them, they are very big. They're actually very, very big, but they are not cancerous. They might be just big. You see some people, you see them in their chin, they are having a big tumor in their back, in their any part of the body. It's just there. It's not painful. It's not spreading. It's just there. And in most cases, normal surgery can just remove it. But just normal primary surgery, the tumor is being cut off. And because it's not cancerous, it does not spread. And for example, it's keloid, you see a lot of people having it, tumors. Some people, their own are so big, but it's not cancerous. It's just there. In most cases, if it's not hurting you, it's not too big, you're advised to just leave it there and have your peace. What are the difference between cancers and tumor? If someone might ask, everything is tumor, tumor, tumor. What are actually the difference between these two issues, tumors and cancers? Yes, there's a big difference. Tumors are not cancerous, they don't spread. It can remain there even though it's getting bigger and bigger. It does not spread to the next tissue, it does not spread to the next cell. It's just there growing bigger. It doesn't hurt you, it's not going to do anything to you, it's not dangerous. Some are not even dangerous. But when it's cancerous, oh my god, it's spreading. Before you know, it's destroying every tissues around it. The person is always feeling soreness, weak, tired. You know, it takes everything away. It's just eating you up gradually. But tumor can just be there big, or it might be painful, it might not be painful, but it's just there big. But cancer might not really be big, you might just be seeing soreness, and before you know, it's just spreading till it eats up the organs around it and may now result to death. So what are the symptoms one look out for? There is always a tumor, or sometimes it may not be a tumor. There is redness. You might see redness, you might see the skin color changing color. Sometimes it might be yellow, sometimes it might be dark, sometimes it might be reddish. Then when as a person you notice sudden increment in weight or sudden reduction in weight, is something to be worried about. In your bowel movement, okay, you find it difficult to go to toilet, you hardly go use the toilet anymore, you are just there, or sometimes frequent usage is something to expect. Then indigestion, this is one of the symptom of most illness. Indigestion, when you start suffering constipation, you start noticing that your food are not properly digested, is an alarming sign. It's a sign for you to check which organ in your body is being affected. That is, in most sicknesses, that indigestion remains one of the frequent symptoms or frequent signs that you first see. So when as a person you are seeing that indigestion, please go and see your doctor. Another is tiredness, fatigue. The person is always tired, is always losing energy. He can barely do what he used to do before. Those are worry signs. But all these signs we are saying here does not necessarily mean that when you feel it, you're having cancer. No. Like I said, they are pointers. They are pointers for you to now look at what is actually wrong with me. Why am I experiencing this? Why am I feeling like this? And you now visit your doctor. Then if it's something to worry about, the doctor will place you on further tests. Then from the result of the test, the doctor now knows what to advise you to do. Another symptoms that you shouldn't ignore is sudden change in your skin color, or your skin suddenly start becoming thickening. You know the texture of your skin, suddenly you now see that it's getting thicker, coerced thicker. It's a sign to be worried about. Then another thing is For somebody having what, maybe you have what, physical what, or you have keloids and the rest of them, then suddenly you start noticing changes in them. Okay, something that used to be lifeless before now start becoming reddish, painful. It's something to go and see the doctor about. Then blood level, when your blood level keep coming up and decreasing, something to be worried about. You know, in Africa, because of we are barely trying to survive, most of us don't even know when the next plate of meal is going to come about. So when some of these things are happening, we do not consult the doctor. We always do self-medications. All of us are guilty of this. All of us. Why? Because healthcare are not really accessible to most Nigerians. By the time the person discovers what is wrong with him, the cancer must have eaten up every part of his body. In most cancer cases, it's been discovered late. Early discovery cures cancer. Early discovery, because when you discover it at the early stage, it's been taken care of easily. Not until when it has entered stage, the third stage, it becomes a problem, or the fourth stage. And this is most the case where most Nigerians find themselves, because at that initial stage when it might be giving you that signs, we all ignore it. In most cases, it's typhoid and malaria that is worrying me. It's typhoid and malaria. Let me treat typhoid. Everything in Nigeria is typhoid. Everything in Nigeria is malaria. Before you know, you keep taking it, it keep increasing. By the time it now becomes worse, then at that stage when that person will now be rushed to the hospital, a lot of cells has been destroyed. We are now at that stage where that person is battling between being alive and the rest. So I wouldn't know who to blame, because you cannot tell somebody struggling to get his next meal to use his little resources to be going in and out of the hospital. And I don't know, the government doesn't want to make these things accessible to the masses. Cancer treatment in Nigeria is not for the poor. It's a very expensive kind of treatment with no subsidies, no reduction in price. I just pray God sees us out of this problem. You as a human being, there are so many things you can do to help yourself avert some of these health challenges. Most of these things are as a result of what we ingest, what we put into our mouth, what we expose our body to. The things we freely allow come into our system are what gives rise to terminal illness like cancer, kidney failure, liver failure, all these diseases. I know we cannot be careful enough in this part of the world, because you don't know the things you are buying, where the person sourced it from. I understand that. But the least we can do is to help ourselves. I was in a public bus the other day. The next passenger beside me, we were still moving from Ajah to Costain. She opened the first commando, drank. I was watching her. She finished drinking that commando. Immediately she finished the commando, she closed it and threw away the bottle. The next thing I saw, she brought out black bullet. She opened it. It was at this point I told her, is there anything wrong with you? I hope you have money to take care of your kidney when they start failing. The next thing I heard is, God forbid, it's not going to be my portion. Is it this one she drank? How can somebody miss commando and black bullet under a space of 10 minutes? I think that's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was being scared on her behalf, because with the level of kidney failure here and there, and somebody is trying to tell me she has not been listening, or she is deaf, or she has not, I don't understand. There should be enough sensitization in this part of the world. But it's so unfortunate that programs like this that tends to educate people on their health will never go viral. Why? If I was dancing naked now, before tomorrow morning, Easter blood has carried me. Before tomorrow, I'm on gist lover. I am everywhere on the internet. Assuming I decide to remove everything and dance naked, or I decide to twerk now, it will go viral. The boss EJ1 fertility dance naked. But now I am on Facebook crying. that people should be careful with the way they live their life to avert some of this illness. Nobody wants to listen. The government is not going to do everything. Oh. And we in this part of the world that has found ourselves in this kind of mess, being a little bit cautious can save you a lot. If you followed us up to this time, I want to say a very big thank you. And then that shows that your health is important to you. Spread the news, spread the gospel, share, comment, tag. Let this program go viral. I've taken my time to develop this program. It's not easy sitting, writing, researching to come and talk about these issues. I'm worried because being in the health sector, I know what we see on a daily basis. I know what we go through. I know what we see. And being somebody that loves humanity and love nature, I cannot just fold my hands and keep watching people twerking into sicknesses that they don't even have money to take care of. So please, the only thing you can do for me is share this, let it go viral, comment, tag your friends, like, so that by the time I see how you are responding to it, I will research more. I'll bring that wonderful topics to discuss, to enlighten us. You can ask your questions as well. If you come to my office and ask me this, I might not answer you. But online, if you ask me, I will definitely give you the answer you are looking for. How does one diagnose cancer? How do one know this thing I'm suffering for? Is it a tumor? Is it a cancer? There are so many tests made available for one to do to differentiate if I'm having tumors, if I'm having cancers. The first one is physical examination. This might not be a perfect test, but it starts from there. It starts from there. Physical examination, mostly in the case of breast cancer. Every woman is asked to check her breast every morning. Carry your three finger, put up your hands, you tap, go round to check if there are lumps. You feel a new lumps. Every woman is advised to do that in front of a mirror every morning. If you feel any lump that was not there, or you feel something strange, go straight to your doctor. Go straight to, even if you don't have a doctor, the general hospital that are there, health centers are there. You're not going to pay much to talk to a doctor there. So rush down to all these places and get a perfect examination. Get it right. Self-medication kills. Then another one we'll talk about is family history. If you come from a family where a particular illness is known, maybe your mother suffered from this, your grandmother suffered from this, your father suffered, or one of your uncles already suffered from this, you know that this particular illness is prone to my family. So, so I'm somebody who having that genetic component should know that from time to time you checkmate yourself, you go for medical examination, you help yourself. For those, okay, you come from a family that are prone to high blood pressure, you come from a family that are prone to stroke, cancer, and at 45 you still live I don't care life. When you get to 40 years, you should be cautious about what you do with your life. If your family history has any of this, you should be cautious from your day one, mindful of what you eat, mindful of your lifestyle, mindful of what you do with yourself. You know, in Nigeria they'll tell you, na man must die, something must kill a man, na person wey dey fear pass na him dey die. Na our normal everyday language. If you dey waka for street, people always say it. Abeg leave that thing. You never see person wey fear wey later die. You never see person wey do this one wey do. Abeg live your life joor, enjoy your life. I understand. This life na one life e dey, we gat to enjoy am. But meanwhile as you dey enjoy am, you gat to be careful as well. Another test we have is imagery test. Imagery test, you go to ultrasound machine, the ultrasound machine will use the magnetic resonance to check your body to see if your tumors or your cancer is cancerous or not. The another one we have is biopsy, whereby that tumor you have, a little part of it is taken out or further examination to find if it's biopsy or not. The problem I have with biopsy is by the time they cut out that little part, the cancer might just be there, not spreading. It's just trying to spread small small. Immediately they make that cut, boom, everywhere, spreads everywhere. That's my problem with that biopsy. Biopsy helps cancer spread faster, but fine, it's still one of the tests one has to do to ascertain if his or her tumor is cancerous or not. Then we have another one we call multiple cancer detection test, where we have a lot of machineries you have been put inside it. The machinery scans your body to pick up where your in different parts of the body where these cancers are being found. It's from the gradual one we get to the much complex one. As a human being, when you wake up, examine yourself, your skin. Am I seeing any dark patches? What's this thing? Why is my skin color here different from my skin color here? Why am I having these patches? Okay, why is my skin thicker here but it's not thick here? These are things you can do on your own. I used to have this what here, and it's lifeless, but suddenly I'm experiencing a lot of pains around it. Why am I having this pain? Or other symptoms. Why am I getting tired? I'm getting tired for no just reason. I don't even do anything. I'm tired. Tiredness can be symptoms of a lot of illness, from high cholesterol to kidney failure. Most sicknesses start with tiredness, in as much as that. But when you see it in combination with other symptoms, when you are tired and you don't have any other symptoms, it's not nothing to worry about. But when you now see it with 3 to 4 symptoms I've mentioned here, is something to worry about. It's something to go and see the doctor about. It's something to wake up and take a walk. Do not stay there until the cancer has finished ravaging you before you now start looking for. By then it's in the third or fourth stage. Little or nothing can be done. At the first stage, phew, reversing cancer is very, very easy. Reversing cancer without any medication is very, very easy. But when you allow it ravage you, that's where the problem starts. I believe we are communicating. Sorry if you there are things I've said you don't understand. You can come to the comment section and ask your questions, and I will explain further. If there are certain things you need to further clarifications on, feel free to chat us up. We'll talk about it. Then if there are cancer doctors around you, you can go in there to have a better understanding of what I'm saying here today. Please be healthy, be safe, because this life there is more to achieve than allowing sickness keep us up. So we'll be expecting you by this time next week, where we'll be looking at some of the foods, some of the foods we eat that really help this cancer spread. Like I said earlier, cancer is a result of what we are ingesting, be it drink, be it food, be it medications. There are so many things we take in, some of the chemicals we apply in the name of like beauty are one of these things that cause cancer. So we'll be taking these things one after the other next week. So if there are anyone you're practicing, the earlier you start stopping it, the better for all of us. Thank you and God bless you. Please do not allow this knowledge remain with you. The only way you can motivate me to go out there every week, make research, and come here and talk about it is by liking, commenting, and sharing this post. Thank you and God bless you. See you next week by this time.